Okay, now you're live.
Okay.
I mean, I can see that, but I don't know if that matters. There we go.
And if you see any eyes pop on, little eyes, it takes a minute sometimes. It feels so weird. Because I want to look at you and I'm used to my computer. All right, friends. Hello and welcome to Tuesday Night Live. A little bit different view and perspective because my computer is dead. It was unplugged and I didn't know it, and it doesn't have enough juice to live stream tonight. So we are live streaming with my phone, and my faithful helper Julie is the paparazzi right now and is filming me with my iPhone. And in just a minute, we're gonna flip the camera down and hopefully get it in the right angle so that my desk shows. So welcome to tonight's edition for Tuesday Night Live. My name is Jennifer Hill with One Crafty Sister. I am your curator of crafty fun. I try to bring projects to you that you can create with supplies that you might have laying around your craft room if you're an avid paper crafter, and sometimes not even so avid. And if you fall in love with something I show you and you don't have that, I can help you out with that. There is a link shared in the comments below where you can shop my store 24/7, as well as join my team, because you know what? Right now you can join my team for just $35. That is just a no-brainer. So I'm shouting it out to everyone. If you ever even considered, or even if you used to be a demonstrator and you've been thinking about trying it again because your life is in a different place than it was years ago, or if you just thought like, man, I just want to see what it's all about, now is the best time. Think about the last time you went into the store and blew $35. It's so easy. So why not blow it on $125 worth of craft supplies? Seems like a good deal to me. If I could join right now, I would. Anyway, you should do that because we would love to welcome you into the Craftastics team. We're a lot of fun, we're growing, and we're spreading across the United States. We have our first team member that's going to be in the Kansas City area, so we're going to need some Team Kansas City family up there. So come on and join the Craftastics. So let's talk about a few things really quick before I start crafting. There are some links in the video description that show some upcoming events. And as I have this recording shared to YouTube, I'm sorry everyone that might have tuned in to watch me live on YouTube tonight. I can't simulcast to both from my cell phone only. We have a new rule that on Tuesday night when Jennifer gets home from work, she has to come and make sure that her computer is plugged in, her laptop is plugged in her craft room. There's always another rule for another day. I'm learning just like everyone else. But there are some links. So this weekend, if you're in the Gainesville area, I do have coffee and cards this weekend. And that is a Saturday morning class. You can come try out card making. There is no experience necessary, and I'll even help you with the basic supplies if you've never been to a class before and aren't sure what to bring. You'll make 6 beautiful fall inspired cards. And the class is free with a minimum order. So you should come check that out. Also in November, on November 15th, we are having the Great Christmas Craft-In. It is going to be a super fun day at the studio, but you can even get the class or the event shipped to you. So the link is in the video description to go check that out. It's going to be super fun, and if you're looking for a day to craft away, the Great Christmas Craft-In will be a fabulous opportunity to do that. All right, what do you guys think about we do some crafting?
Candy said, don't forget Monday cleanup also.
Oh, yes. So
are you calling me out, Candy?
Thanks for the reminder, Candy. So last night we had the Crafty clean along. So if you struggle with keeping your craft room organized or cleaned up, and you feel that that impacts you on your inspiration to work in your space, we need to fix that. So I struggle with that too. I'm a messy crafter, and so you know, people like Julie, my paparazzi tonight, has, you know, said like, you know, Jennifer, I could get a lot more done on Tuesday night when I come if you would clean up after your lazy self. Yeah, she didn't
not
say
what I said.
quite like that. We should do this every Tuesday night. Anyway, she didn't say it like that, but it is true. Like, I am lazy about putting things away. Maybe not lazy, I'm just always running from one thing to the other, and so I run out of time. And so I finish something up, I run to my studio, and when I come home, I'm like on the couch. And who wants to clean up after a long day at the studio or whatever? Not me. So we are doing a Crafty clean along. So if you would like to join us for the Crafty clean along, just put a heart as an emoji in the comments. So put a heart. I want you to heart the video all night long to show me love and that you love what we're doing, but just drop a comment that is a heart, or say clean along, and I will send you the Zoom link for you to join us. So we had about 7 people get on the Zoom last night, and we all did some cleaning, and it was great. And we did some talking, and we shared some tips on how to organize or store some of our common products in our craft room. So you might really enjoy that. So let me know in the comments if you want to take part in the Crafty clean along, which will be Monday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. And at 9 o'clock, that's Eastern time, at 9 o'clock, Zoom closes. Door shuts. That's it. We don't linger. And if you can't stay for the whole hour, that's okay too. All right, so we are going to try to flip the camera down. So I suggest that if you get seasick or motion sick or anything like that, I'm going to try to cover the camera to help, but just don't look at it for a minute, okay? Then you might not see like something you shouldn't see, like some messy area in my craft room or something. No, it's pretty clean right now. All right, so I'm going to cover the camera. I'm going to take it, plop it down. Let's see. Where is my camera? Got to turn it the right way. All right. Of course, there's going to be something. There we go. Okay. Let's do this. Can everyone see that? Okay. Arlena says yes. Clean along. Candy, of course. We're going to do the clean along. Okay. It looks like I can see comments on my screen, so that's kind of good. Okay. So tonight I'm going to share some tips on coloring with your Stampin Blends. So I feel like I need this a little higher. Not used to it using this particular camera. We're going to use the Rustic Centerpiece stamp set, as well as the beautiful motifs for the sentiment. We're going to use this Thank You for Everything. And if you remember last week, I shared this cute boo bag for you guys to use to boo your neighbors or to carry some little treats around your neighborhood or at your work or whatever. And I also made these cute little treat packs, you know, because I'm getting ready to give treats out for work. If you didn't catch that, just go to last week's video to catch that. But I love using gift bags to put things in to gift people. And so not only am I going to make a card tonight that's for your Thanksgiving hostess. Your right hand can't be seen. You don't see this hand? Can you see both of them? Candy says my right hand can't be seen. Can you look on your phone, Julie, and tell me what you see before I go any further? Right, and we did some talking. What can you see? What can you see? We're testing it out right now.
Okay, put your hands under.
My hands are under it. There is a delay on Facebook. Oh yeah, that's a delay. Okay. All right, I think that's okay if I stay in that window. we're just gonna put it up. All right, it's gonna have to be okay.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna use Rustic Centerpiece. I love this stamp on here, okay? And then we're gonna use this stamp set, Thank You for Everything. So if you're going anywhere for Thanksgiving to spend with family or whatever, whoever is hosting, you should bring a gift to them because they had to do a lot of work to get their house ready or whatever. And Candy says both now. I don't know. I seem to think, okay, Karen says we're good. Okay, I'm going to quit worrying about it. What I see on my screen looks like I can see them. So I'm going to make a card tonight and share some tips on coloring with Stampin Blends. I'm also going to teach you how to make your sentiments pop on cards or projects, a little tip that'll make them pop. And then I'm going to show you a neat way to pair your card with a gift bag. That's a really kind of neat, unique way to do that. So, okay, let's get crafting. Let's get stamping. The first thing we are going to do is I have a piece of basic white that I have cut out with the branching out dies. And these are one of my favorites right now. I mean, I use them more for these dies even than I do for the bundle, but the bundle is beautiful with the stamp set as well. I love this shape die. It is so versatile. So I'm using it here. We are going to stamp on here that great big stamp that might be bigger than you even thought it was. Look how big that is. So the Rustic Centerpiece, these 3 stamps are really big. I used the Christmas tree one several weeks ago, so you might remember when I used that. But then there's also this one here that has like the succulents, which is really neat as well. So we are going to stamp this big stamp. It fits on an E-block. We're going to stamp it on here with Stays On ink. So I have my Stays On ink here, and I just like with big stamps, I like to take and do this. I like to just make sure I get it really well and inked up, so I just keep going over it until I feel like it's good and inked up. And then I'm going to stamp it right about there. Give it a good impression. Oops. Okay, so there is my stamped image. Now, whenever you have Stays On, you want to take and clean it pretty quick. You use Stays On cleaner. This is a really old bottle that I've had for a long time. Stampin' Up! Does sell this, as you can see. Whew. I got it from another place, but I've had this for a really long time. It lasts a really long time. So it has like a little dauber on the end, just like if you were playing bingo. It has a special cleaner, and it looks yucky at first. And then you can take either a white, or I have some of these black cloths, microfiber cloths, that I just take and wipe it with to get all that cleaner off. And if you want to, after that, you can clean it on your Stampin' with your Stampin' Mist or whatever. I actually think that's pretty darn clean. So that is going to be done. All right, so I have now our stamped image, and I'm gonna pull out a messy handful of dies. Sorry, that's a little messy. Let me get these a little organized so I know what I'm working with. Get my browns together. Okay. Have to get them in. All right, so where I'm missing a green. Here it is. All right, so got lots of colors we're going to use on this. But one of the things I hear a lot about is that you don't feel confident with coloring your coloring skills. And so I thought I would just kind of show you some basics here of how I color with Stampin' Blends. Now let me show you my sample card so you see where I'm going. So here is my sample card, and you can see all the detail on here. Most of the detail is created by the artwork that has been provided to us with the stamp set, okay? So I use all the detail that the artist gave us to decide where and how to color, okay? So we'll just set this here. We're gonna start out, I'm gonna start out with what I'm calling like a metal bucket type thing, a metal vase. And you'll see on here that there are all these lines, okay? To me, the lines tell me that's where the image should be the darkest. Like, so it's showing me shadows, right? So I'm gonna come in here and go around the edge. Let me go down closer for coloring so that you guys can see. And then I take and I just kind of follow the edge and color in the darkest area. So I am using smoky slate, I think, yep, dark smoky slate. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna come and go along the edge, and that's mainly because it's kind of hard to color and talk, so I wanna make sure I don't make any mistakes there. And I just kind of use those, oops, I just went outside the line, but we're gonna fix that in a little bit, so don't worry. All right, so that is all I'm doing with the dark. Now I'm gonna take the light. I'm gonna come in, because I'm using mine, a lot of times at my class I tell you guys to use the other end. You can really wear down these nibs on these if you color too hard, but when I have larger areas, I'll start by coloring with it. But you just wanna be gentle. And then I'm gonna come back with the other nib, and I'm going to kind of blend those edges out. So these are called Stampin' Blends, and guess what? That means that you can blend your colors with them. So you blend to kind of soften lines, but I am gonna leave some of this lighter in the middle because that kind of looks like another color, like another shade. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of, let's see, give it a little bit more. Leave it like that. Okay. So now it kind of looks like it has a little bit of shading and color and detail. Now I'm just gonna start coloring some other things. So I'm done with those, so we'll put those back in my bin. We're gonna start down with the wood on the bottom. Now I use smoky slate on there. We're gonna use some pecan pie. We're gonna use pecan pie and crumb cake to color some of this. So I'm gonna start with the dark, and just again, I'm gonna go in where there's detail on this piece of wood. And I'm not being, you don't have to be perfect. You're just putting some color in there. This whole side looks a little darker. And then I'm going to come back through with the light and just kind of fill in. I love coloring, and it's kind of therapeutic to me. I could color till my hands hurt, till my shoulders hurt. But it's also a really pretty way to add detail. Hi, Maple. Did you come to say hi? Did you come to say hi? You're gonna be in the way. Go see Aunt Julie. You're in the way, little girl. I'm sorry. Go see Julie. Go see Aunt Julie. Oh, she's so sweet. I stepped on Maple earlier because she was walking under my feet and I felt horrible. Okay, so now I'm just taking my crumb cake and just coloring in, again, just those shaded details. Until my wood slice is all colored in. Okay, so that's all of that. I am going to need some pumpkin pie still, so we'll leave that out. I'm going to come back and color my apples, so I'm using Real Red, and I'm going to start with the dark, and again, I'm going to hit those lines that the artist gave us. Well, hello, Sue, stranger, someone I haven't seen in forever and ever. Are you back in our neck of the woods? Did I notice that you are back living here? Do we need to have a drink and catch up? All right, so I'm coloring my apples. And I'm going to go back with the dark color just to kind of darken some of that detail. The lighter colors do kind of lighten colors overall. So then I kind of like to come back in and color. Sue, my phone number is the same. I think I still have your phone number in my phone, but I don't know if yours is still the same.
Thumbnail is up here.
Oh. Okay, so there's our apples, and I'm gonna go ahead and just color in the little stems. Okay, so our apples are done. And now we're gonna color in some of these pieces up here. So these little round leaves remind me of like eucalyptus. So I kind of feel like they need to be like a blue-green. So I'm using some Lost Lagoon light, and I'm just gonna color in these leaves. I'm not doing shading. You don't always have to shade. But I just love these floral images, especially with these sunflowers. They just yell fall, right? And I am ready. So in a couple of weeks, we are going on a little vacation, and I'm so excited because we're gonna get to see some cooler weather and go up in the mountains. And I am looking forward to that. So I'm feeling like all the fall feels right now. All right, so for my leaves, I just kind of come in and I just kind of draw down this center vein of my leaf, and I just kind of give it some darker color in the center. Like I said, you don't have to be like a master artist to do this. That's what I like about it, but it will look like you're an artist. This might take a minute just for me to get all these leaves done, but I'm definitely not a Bob Ross, but I think that in the end it looks beautiful, and I know that whoever I give this to will love it. And I do plan on having this ready for Thanksgiving hostess. And I don't even know this year where we're having Thanksgiving. If it's gonna be at my house, I'm gonna have to give this to myself. Bye, Julie. Okay, so I'm going to color these leaves in, and then I'm going to go back and do those pretty sunflowers. And then I'm going to show you a little neat trick to do around the edge that I learned from someone who's a way better coloring artist than I. And I'm trying to remember who I learned it from years ago. On your bigger leaves, you might have to do some more blending of the color, but on the smaller leaves, you don't really need to. This does take a minute, so. And I figured since I'm showing you coloring tips, you don't mind sitting here for a minute to watch me color and to see that it's not magic or some like crazy artistry. It's really just using the lines of the artwork to your benefit. Okay, I think that's all the leaves. So it's just that one there. Okay, so now I think I need a darker bit. I wanted these flowers to be a little bit like orange, and I had used the lighter pumpkin pie, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit darker pumpkin pie this time. So I'm just coming around the center, and I'm gonna just kind of go out a little bit. Don't have to do as much on that one because it's smaller. And then I'm gonna come back in with my yellow. This is Daffodil Delight. I'm just gonna fill those in. And we're almost done. Just gonna keep turning it while I work my way around the flower. Go to the last one. Okay. Last thing I need to do is give those centers some color. So I'm going to come in with the light pecan pie. Maple, there's not room for you up here. Okay, so there is the basics of that all colored in. And I had learned from someone years ago to take a lighter pen, a lighter marker. This is the light Pool Party, and to use the bullet tip and to just take and kind of go around, trace around the edge of your project. Oops. And it will lighten as it dries. But it just kind of gives it a little bit of artistic detail. Huh, do you see her? Look, she's trying to go after that. It also will smooth out any of those places where you went outside the lines. Okay. Almost done. I am going to come in here. I get kind of quiet when I'm coloring, so I promise I'm still here. but I have to focus on my lines. Come back here. Remember that spot I went out of the line there? I'm just going to color over it. And then it'll be gone. All blended in. Okay. So there. We have just a little detail around the edge. So let's go ahead and start putting together our card. So I have a crumb cake card base. Let's go back up like this. So you have a little bit more viewing space. I have a crumb cake card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11. And I have a piece of basic white, and then I have a piece of this paper that comes from the Woven Textures DSP. So this DSP has all these amazing textures in it. I love it. So there's all kind of cool patterns. And we are using, can't get my paper back in. We are using the one that kind of looks like burlap. So I am going to adhere that. See, there's another one you could totally use with this as well if you wanted to, but I really like the burlap. I kind of goes along with the rusticness of this. So I'm going to put this right in the middle. I have to trim it. It's a little bit long. This was actually part of a scrap, and I'm like, I'll just trim it off. Okay. So I'm just going to turn this over, and with my scissors, just trim that little edge off. And now I have here somewhere, I have the Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread pack, and I'm going to take and wrap my linen thread around here 3 times. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And cut it off. Maple's like, ooh, what is that? What is that? And I'm going to tie it off in a bow over here to the edge. Like so. Okay. Now I'm going to just kind of slide this over here. Now, I wanted to show you kind of like something that you have in your craft room that you can use to enhance your layers. Sometimes I feel like I want this layer to be much thicker. So, you know, this stuff that you have laying around, this is your backer board from your designer series paper, and it's thick. It's nice and thick. And sometimes I like to use it to put on the back of my card to firm it up. Now, I have twine here, so what I'm going to do is, look at this. That is about 2 1/4, and then about 2 1/2. What I'm going to do is just take my little trimmer, and I'm going to cut this piece down to 2 1/4, and then another piece down to 2 1/2. And I'm going to adhere it to the back of my card to just make my piece really rigid. Now, some of you might say, oh, but Jennifer, that's going to make it too heavy for a stamp. I weighed this one with an envelope, and it was like 0.7 something. So it wasn't even an ounce. It wasn't a full ounce. So you don't have to worry about that. But this is just going to give you some really good support. It's a great way to support your projects with something that you already have laying in your stash maybe, because I do keep this stuff because I use it on things like this. Okay, so it also, I left a hole for that, but it's going to give a nice firm support for this layer that I feel like sometimes I want on my cards. I like this kind of firmness. So if you watch a lot of crafting videos, you may notice that sometimes people put like full foam sheets on the back of their layers, and that's because they like all that support. I do too. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay. It makes it feel really nice and sturdy. Oops, I just threw that down. Okay, so now I'm going to add my layer to my card front. And then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals on my card front. Now you could even boost this up with some backer board. I am not doing that today, but that is something that you could totally do. This card is full of dimension. Isn't that so pretty on the back, how it looks? It looks really impressionistic, so it almost is like you want to do that and then use that side of it. That would be really neat to use that side. Okay, but we're using this side. Okay. Gonna let it have a nice big bow, and now we need to do our sentiment. So I have a little piece of basic black here, and to make your sentiments really pop, so on this one I used early espresso and I heat embossed it with white ink. I want to try it on black and see if I like it better. Julie picked the early espresso. I'm going to use the black. So I'm going to start out with my embossing buddy. I'm just going to get that all powdered up. I'm going to take my Versamark, and the sentiment that we're using says, "Thank you for everything." So I'm going to stamp that. And then I have my embossing powder here. Oops. Okay, close that up, and I'm gonna hold this with my tweezers. Oops. Whoa, almost had a disaster there. And I'm gonna go ahead and heat set it. So that is all heat set. And you can see that that really makes the sentiment pop on there. Now, after you do that, if you want to go ahead and take your little brush, and I'm just going over it to get any of that powder off so it doesn't look like it's all powdered. And then we're going to add this to our project. Okay, and there is my sentiment. Okay, so here's the brown, here's the black. I'm gonna put my gems on, but now to tie in the black, I'm gonna use the black gems. So these are the neutral matte dots, and I had used the pecan pie ones on this one over here, but I'm gonna use the black ones on this one, and it'll kind of tie in that black sentiment there. Look at that. I like that. All right, so now I'm gonna take and add this layer onto the inside for me to write my thank you note to my hostess, to thank them for hosting us for Thanksgiving. Okay. So there is that card. Now, I'm going to pair this with a gift. So, some gifts that you might bring at Thanksgiving time to thank a hostess might be like a bottle of wine or a bottle of flavored olive oil. One of my favorites is truffle infused olive oil. It's a little expensive, but it makes a really nice gift. So that, or you could do some really cute Christmas towels, because if they host for Thanksgiving, they might host for Christmas. So you could give a bag that has some really cute Christmas kitchen towels or Thanksgiving towels for them to use next year. So we're gonna, hold on. We're gonna pull out another one of those handy dandy gift bags. Just like the one I pulled out last week for the boo bag, we are gonna pull out this one. And I have a piece of that same designer series paper here, okay? And I am going to put a piece of this on the back. So I need to measure this because I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. This is 3 inches by 6 inches. So I'm gonna cut this just shy of 3 by 6. So I'm gonna go 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. And I'm just doing this to make this little mechanism that I'm going to create a little bit stronger, because I'm using designer series paper instead of regular cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to take and glue these together. So I've given it just a little bit of an edge there. Okay. And then I'm going to take another set of dies. Now, there's a bunch of ways you could do this, okay? We used to do it with this little punch that we used to have. We had this little banner punch that we used to use to make any kind of slit in a project. I don't have that anymore, but what I am gonna do is use this. And I wanna make a slit that's big enough for this card, okay? So this is not fully big enough, so I'm just gonna kind of look here. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna put some marks on this and I'll cut them off. So I think we'll do about there. No, you can't steal that. So I'm just gonna take a pencil and I'm gonna mark there. I'm gonna mark there. Do you see what's happening here? She's chasing my pencil. Okay, you can barely see what I did, and that's okay. I just need to see it to be able to do the next step, which is I'm going to cut it out on my cut and emboss. So what I'm gonna do is take and look for my little pencil mark that I can, oh, there it is, okay. All right, so I'm gonna start it right about there. I'm gonna just take a little piece of tape and tape that down. So what I'm doing is making a slit in this to hold my card. So I'm gonna go back, since I have that backer board in there, it might be a little thicker, but it worked. So see, I have that in there. So I'm gonna pop this out, and then I need to make it a little longer because that's not long enough. So I have my other mark, and I'm just gonna kind of put this in so that it fits right in that groove. And then I'm gonna tape it down and run it through to widen that space. Whoops, I just hit the camera holder. Oopsie. Okay. So now you see I have that nice big opening. Now this die came from the beautiful butterflies, okay, but you could use any rectangle. You could also cut this with your trimmer, honestly. You could do that too. So what we're gonna do now is on the front of our card, we are going to pop this up with dimensionals. I need some fresh dimensionals here, I think. So I'm gonna add, no, you know what I'm gonna use instead? I'm gonna use some foam strips. We always need an arsenal of craft supplies around. So I have some foam strips. These are like 8 inches long, but these are just pieces that I had left over. These are great for shaker cards. So you're just putting it on the left and right, okay? You don't want to block this section, but you are going to put it here as well. I'm thinking about this. So I'm just going to kind of make this nice and firm. And I am going to support across the top here. Trim that off. Stick that just back on there for next time. It goes back in the drawer. Okay. So now we're going to take and adhere this to our gift bag. So we're going to pull the backing off, and I wanted that to be nice and sturdy. That's why I put that backer board on there. Okay, so I've got that on there. And now what I can do is slide this card down in there to hold. Let's see if I can get this up a little bit more so you can see. So you can actually hold it on your project. Now, you don't even have to do the hole. You could do a piece and just do adhesive here and slide it through. But having the hole gives you something to just kind of pull through like that. So now it's actually like it decorated your bag, right? So now you have your little piece of art that you did. Oh, I forgot one thing on our little piece of art is to add a wink of Stella to our metal canister because it's metal. I forgot. Gotta have wink of Stella. So now you have that beautiful bag that's all decorated that you're gonna stuff with some of your hostess gifts, and And if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you keep your Paper Pumpkin tissue, remember I outlined this in the pool party? Well, guess what? This is pool party. And we have that Lost Lagoon here. You could use your Paper Pumpkin tissue to put in your bag. To tie it all together. Look at that. And it looks like a beautiful piece of art, but you've made it to where it is attached to your bag. What do you guys think of that? Could you see making this for your Thanksgiving host to thank them for hosting at their house? Now, I'll share some pictures because of the way I'm filming today, because my computer was dead and I'm just using my phone. I don't have as big of a screen view. So I will share some pictures of it so you can see the full expanse of it. Just make sure you're on my email list. I'll share some here on social media as well, but I will send all the supply list out and measurements to my email subscribers. So you'll want to make sure that you are subscribed to my email list, and the links are down below in the video. But yeah, that's my project for tonight. Let me see if I can turn the camera around. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Let's see where I'm at. All right, so close your eyes. I'm gonna try to move the camera again. So let me just block the screen. And we're gonna go like this. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we will see. I've got it on the screen over here. I can't really see, but I don't know. Can you see this? I'm watching as it's delayed on my screen right now. Oh, and look, there's a Clover in the background who is eating ribbons, probably like a bad cat. So this is the bag, and I think it turned out really cute, and I think that gifting someone at Thanksgiving or Christmas who hosts you and your family is a great tradition to put into place. So thank those who spend time to have their home ready for you. And thank you guys for tuning in tonight for another edition of Tuesday Night Live, where, of course, as always, we learn as we go and learn that if your computer is not fully charged, it doesn't have enough power to run the program to record and go simultaneously to Facebook and YouTube or to stream it all. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this project for another edition of Tuesday Night Live. And if you missed the first of this video, I invited every single one of you, if you are not currently a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, to join the Craftastics team. We are growing across the United States, and we would like to have you as part of our team. And right now, you can join for just $35. When's the last time you blew $35? Yesterday? Today? It happens so easy. Give it a try. We'd love to welcome you. A link is in the description below, and we would welcome you with open arms. So if you're looking for a place to connect with other crafters, whether local or on Zoom, we would love to have you on our team. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Until next week, see you later. If you need to attend the Crafty Clean Along, don't forget, put a heart or say clean along in the video comments, and I will send you the Zoom link for next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for our Crafty Clean Along. See you guys later. Bye.
Woo.